Hey, me and Matt here, and I'm Killer Kyle. Welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury. Hey, me and Matt and Killer Kyle here. Welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury. And we're doing 2 videos again. Yeah! Because I'm not waiting for Halloween Havoc predictions in a few days. So, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I mean, if we don't do the predictions tonight, we'd either have to do the predictions Sunday or attempt to do the predictions on Monday.
Yeah.
But, yeah, get them out of the way now. That way we can do the editing and get them uploaded ahead of time.
Yeah. Well, first we're going to be doing the Bound for Glory prediction video. Bound for Glory is actually tomorrow night, so yeah, it'll be interesting. So just watched the latest episode, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the latest episode of Impact was actually really good.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in one particular match, but talk about that more when we get there.
Should be fun. And I mean, that's the thing. There should be surprises. There's going to be a debuting team that's familiar to us. And I think Scott D'Amore did like a little pot shot with that bald guy representing that team.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's going to be a really good show. The start time is interesting.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock.
So, I mean, we'll watch it eventually. But it's not like we're going to be doing it, unfortunately, play-by-play, which is fine.
Yeah.
Shit happens. So,
one thing I did notice watching Impact last night was they were saying that at 9 o'clock they're going to have Countdown to Glory on Fight TV or Fight...
yeah, the Fight Network?
No, not Fight Network.
Oh.
On YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And then 9:30, I think, is going to be the pre-show or something like that. And then, of course, 10 o'clock is Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
So there's going to be 2 pre-Bound for Glory shows on YouTube and this Fight channel or whatever. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what get who done?
Yeah.
So we start off with our Knockouts Championship match. We've got the AAA Women's Champion and Knockouts Champion Deonna Purrazzo taking on Mickie James.
Yeah. This is definitely going to be interesting. Having Mickie return to Impact and face Deonna for the Knockouts Championship. And, you know, with Deonna already having the Knockouts Championship and the Reina Del Reyes Championship in AAA. I mean, this is going to be a good match. The lead up to this match has been absolutely wild.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Matt and I were watching Slammiversary and did predictions for, or play-by-play for that. And, you know, Deonna successfully defending the championship against Thunder Rosa, and then having Mickey come out and saying she was wanting Deanna to be a part of this all women's empowerment or empower NWA show, and then turned that on into Mickey, I think, one point went to Deanna's home for something, and then Deanna went to Mickey's home, and Deanna and Mickey are fighting, and it was just chaotic, and it's like, man, this is some, like, old school shit.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, we were talking Wednesday about Seth Rollins going to Edge's house. Like, it wasn't anything too big, but, like, and then you have, like, Mickey James and Deanna fighting on, like, Mickey's farm, basically, I'll call it.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to talk about, you know, throwing the clock back several years to how rivalries were truly built up and how it really was like you wanted to see it, because it was like, oh man, this person went to this person's house and they shouldn't have done that. I hope they got their ass kicked and all this other stuff, and just get you invested in. I mean, wrestling had been doing very good at building up matches, but like since like over the last almost year, it's been like, okay, we need to get people not necessarily more interested or more invested. It's like, how do we do something that will keep the fans interested and really draw them in, or even draw more people in?
Yeah.
Well, you do something like that.
Oh god, yeah. And I mean, I think that it will be a really good match, and not to mention that Deanna has when Matthew Winfield in her corner, and
Ray Wold.
yeah, and it would be really, really interesting if Nick Almas came back just for like one night to be in Mickey's corner.
Okay, I understand you're having an issue with Matt's last name.
Wait a second, not Almas.
Aldous.
Aldous.
Foul! Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah, that would be
whatever.
interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're married, but Matthew and Deanna are not, so.
No, but like, after what happened after Mickey had the match with Savannah, and what he did,
Yeah.
maybe Nick will get involved.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And by the way, it didn't look like he hit Mickey that hard.
No.
No. But anyways, yeah. I think that Mickey James will become Knockouts champion again. It's been a long time.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
And plus, I unfortunately don't watch NWA as much as most fans, so I don't know what's going on anymore. But
You might be able to find it on YouTube.
oh yeah, subscribe to that channel. I just haven't really kept up. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, I'm gonna pick Mickey for this one.
Yeah, I will take Mickey too, just... like I said, it'd be cool to see her as champion again.
Yeah.
So next we've got, I think this is triple threat mixed tag
Oh,
match.
yeah.
Falaba and Jordan Grace. You've got Crazy Steve and Tennille Dashwood, and you've got John Schuyler
Yes.
and Chelsea Green.
Yes.
This is like very interesting because, like, with Tennille and her little faction, if you will, I mean, okay, they're portraying like Caleb's got a neck injury, and then, you know, with Chelsea and Matt Cardona, you know, whatever. And I mean, you could literally throw Jordan Grace with anybody, but like, it's an interesting dynamic, this match, and they did do a precursor, I guess, if you want to call it that, to this match on like last night.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to say the least.
Yeah. And what was really cool about this past episode of Impact was seeing the men wrestle the women.
Yes.
Usually in a mixed tag match, that doesn't happen. But it's really cool to see that because I remember back in the early 2000s, even today, I guess, you know, guys wouldn't touch the women, but women were allowed to slap them or whatever. And to me, that's not fair. So to watch that was pretty cool.
And that seems to be the one thing that has made TNA Impact stand out. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
They have been able to do things, you could say, their own way. And it's like, okay, we'll have women fight men and have them wrestle each other and all this other stuff. Now, not very often does it happen, but I mean, it has happened the last little while, at least.
Right.
And I mean, you know, go all the way back to when Tessa Blanchard and Sami Callihan
Yeah.
were having matches with each other for like the Impact World Championship. And then slowly it evolved. And I mean, to have that dynamic and throw it into a mixed tag scenario and not have it be, you know, only the women wrestle each other and only the men wrestle each other, have both sides interact with each other. It's like that's gonna make matches like that and singles matches that much more unique, especially considering that you've got, you know, 3 men, 3 women in a match, and it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably chaotic too.
I don't know who to pick for a winner, to be honest with you.
Yeah, really.
So it's gonna be an interesting match nonetheless. And I'm sure really fun as well.
Yeah.
Hold on. So we have the Knockouts Tag titles. We've got Havoc and Rosemary of Decay and the debut of Inspiration. Wait, Inspiration. I want to fuck that up.
At first it didn't even sound like you said inspiration. It sounded like I've got a wedgie or something like that. Anyways,
Wow.
yes, the Inspiration, formerly the Iconics of the WWE. It's very interesting that they decided to go to Impact. And, I mean, your first match
Yeah.
with the company, you're going for a championship. It's like, okay, we'll see what happens here. And it almost seems as if they have taken their characters of how they were in WWE and just like taking it to the next level. Because like when they were the Iconics, it was like they were beloved, and everybody loved them. They were over.
Yeah.
They were heels, but it wasn't, yeah, you did dislike them, but like not really like absolutely despise them and hate them. So now it's like, let's ramp things up a little bit and get that heel heat, if you will, and just be like these smug, snooty, stuck up, preppy. I don't know what their character is going to be like here in Impact, but it just seems to be like they're kind of like these smug, arrogant, work better than you, know-it-alls or something. I don't know.
And that really, I look at these two ladies and it just feels like, they did really well in NXT.
Yeah.
I thought they did fairly well in WWE. They did have the fucking tag team titles
Yes.
at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
and then you dropped the ball. You broke up the Iconics.
And that went absolutely nowhere.
Like, seriously, you have Cassie on SmackDown with Lacey fucking Evans.
Yeah.
This is like, oh, we wanna make her goofy. We want the Aussie with the fucking Southern Belle, and then we're gonna make them a goofy tag team, and it made no fucking sense. Really, there is no excuse for that. And of course, you got Jessica on Raw trying to get with Ruby and Liv, and then she's doing whatever she's doing. And then, of course, you let them go.
And I mean, the thing about it too is, it at first initially seemed like, Jessica was just trying to see if she can get another partner and still be in a tag team, and just the things that she was doing were very, very, very weird.
Yeah. And it was. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And again, it's almost like, hey, let's just dangle the keys in front of the camera because we're not even being funny. It's more or less baby humor. I don't know what to call it. It was, to me, in my opinion, it was a very, very degrading. You took a team like the Iconics that could have really went somewhere, and you just turned them into a joke. Cassie's on Talking Smack, I think it was, and she's cutting a passionate promo, but then you did nothing with it.
See, here's the thing. But, that whole thing with Lacey and, Jessica, that was what it was. At first, when they split up the Iconics, Cassie, it looked like, she was having really good singles matches. It's like, oh, she's going to excel. She's going to crush it. She's going to have a bright future in the singles realm. And, it's going to be awesome. She'll eventually work her way to the championship. And win the championship. And it's going to be, to the moon with her. And then you go and have her try and be with the Riot Squad.
No, that was Jessica.
But
What a-
still, it was like, and then you have one still doing stuff
Yeah.
on TV, and the other one was gone.
Yeah.
And then, you eventually released them.
Yeah. That was bullshit. It really was.
Because, like, maybe it's a good thing you released them. Otherwise, I'm sure they would have, well, eventually would have gotten to a point where they both would have wanted to fucking leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's kind of the way it is nowadays, though, with WWE. It's unfortunate, This was a company where wrestlers aspired to go to in the future. And now, it's where you go to have your career die. It's really stupid. It's really sad. It's really fucking sad.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, I know they're debuting, so I honestly don't see them win the Knockouts Tag Team Championships yet.
No,
So, yeah, I'm gonna say Decay's gonna retain.
for sure. Faux show.
Little star.
So we have the X Division Championship in a triple threat: El Phantasmo versus Trey Miguel versus Steve Macklin.
Yeah.
Almost said Steve Cutler.
Not quite.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, El Phantasmo is big in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and of course you got Trey Miguel, who, I don't know, he's actually been on a tear recently.
Oh, yeah.
And then Steve Macklin, I'm not sure what happened with his feud with Petey Williams.
I think it's over with now, by now.
So, yeah.
Yeah, with Trey being on such a tear as of late, and Macklin's kind of like just this unstoppable wrecking machine, and El Phantasmo is kind of he's the unorthodox high flyer, if you will. He's the X Factor, so to speak. But I think out of these three guys, if there's anybody that I think deserves the X Division Championship, it's Trey.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That would be pretty cool, But it's kind of interesting. And you're right, I don't see Steve or El Phantasmo win.
Not likely.
Not right now. And I
Yeah.
think that Steve is a good wrestler. I don't think it's time.
Yeah.
And, it'll happen eventually. But yeah, I agree with Kyle. It's going to be Trey Miguel.
Yeah, for sure.
So there it is.
Now we go on to another tag team match. You've got VBD, whoever's going to be representing that group,
Yeah.
against Heath, and, well, we don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's been seeming like Eric has been trying to convince Rhino to join with VBD and stay with them. And Heath has been like, nah, man, you gotta get away from them. You're not the War Machine. You're not the Man Beast. He's in your head. Be my partner and we can take these guys on and take these guys out. And Rhino has just had wanted nothing to do with it. So it's like, alright. So say you don't have Rhino be his tag team partner tomorrow.
Right.
Who do you have?
Yeah, that's a good question. I honestly don't know.
And that's the thing.
You know, I mean, that's. Yeah. Like, who else would Heath. Yeah. I don't know, because when you look at it this way, Rhino and Heath have a lot of history.
Yes.
You know, they were on SmackDown as the tag team champions, and then they, you know, Rhino went back to Impact, but then, of course, Heath made his debut.
Mm-hmm.
But that just doesn't seem to make sense that Rhino's second guessing himself, and he just walked out and he left.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell's going on anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but it's gonna be interesting. And I mean, I like the fact that they're calling Violent by Design Jackals.
Yeah.
They're a really, really good tag team. I mean, I didn't think Cody Deaner was going to make a good heel, but
He's actually done very well.
it's amazing to see how he has progressed into this, like, savage, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Gone from this goofy redneck
Yeah.
to this vicious, malicious heathen.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, until further notice, I'm gonna say Violent by Design.
Yeah, it's up in the air right now, so it's like, I don't know.
So you know, it's less Rhino makes a surprise appearance, gets into the ring, and he does God!
Maybe we'll see.
That'll be an interesting match. I mean, like I said, Heath and Rhino have a lot of history together. Their families know each other. And it's just kind of like, I don't know what to say anymore. And I mean, we'll see what happens. But until then, Violent by Design will further win.
I mean, even when you had Heath talking to Rhino, and Rhino or Heath was like, you know, my kids, they look up to you and they call you Uncle Rhino. And, you know, Rhino kind of smiles like, alright, there's something there.
Yeah,
It's just kind of pull it out of them.
yeah,
What we shall see.
pretty much.
How I won.
So now we have the Impact Tag titles. We've got the Good Brothers versus Finjuice. How many times do they have to face each other? Like, seriously, I don't understand. How many tag teams are there in Impact? It's just, I don't, like, it's like WWE. They're running out of ideas. And Finjuice and these guys, the Good Brothers, have had a lot of matches lately. And it just seems like, okay, I understand the whole New Japan Impact, you know, I don't even know what you call it. It's just,
Alliance partnership.
yeah,
Basically.
partnership. There is a word that I heard today, but I can't remember what the phrase was.
Mm.
Anyways, yeah, just a lot of matches that these two have had, or even for the titles, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, how many... Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna say the Good Brothers retain.
Yeah, I mean, they have had good matches before, but I mean, they're, yeah.
Star.
Yes, now we go on to the main event, the Battle of Canada, Hamilton versus Toronto, You got the Impact World Champion, Christian Cage, being challenged by the former X Division Champion. He decided to use option C and go for the world title. The walking weapon, Josh Alexander.
Yes.
And it was very interesting how last night Josh gave his, you could say, life story, if you will.
Yeah.
About growing up and how he didn't really, he kind of wasn't interesting, and then got interesting, and he would wrestle with his friends, and then he eventually got into wrestling, and he broke his neck, and then he came back too soon, and broke his neck again, and then 8 months later, and, he, did all these things, and then he eventually got a contract with Impact, and was on Impact, and, excelled on Impact, and it just, that whole story is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And I think, Christian being that guy there, coming into Impact in 2005, after his first run with WWE,
Yeah.
I thought was pretty cool, He even mentions, I've done matches where they became their own pay-per-views, and I thought, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I think these two would have a great match, and it started off as a respectful one-on-one thing, I guess, which turned into like a heated rivalry. I mean, you saw the end of the show when they were going at each other.
Oh yeah, they were, having one last face-to-face, if you will, before, Saturday.
Yeah.
And they're having an exchange with each other, and then it broke out into an all-out brawl.
Pretty much.
Well, one thing that, there was a sit-down interview last week, and one thing that Christian said that I found very interesting, and of course, this week, finding out about, Josh having his neck broken, and what Christian said, at one point in both of our careers, we both thought our careers were done,
Yeah.
Christian coming back after 7 years, and however long it was, well, it's like 8 months or whatever for Josh, and it's like, am I going to wrestle again? Am I ever going to wrestle again? And then, be able to get back into wrestling. And it's like, okay, we've had very different careers in wrestling, but there are some parallels with each other.
Yeah.
Both not sure if their careers are going to continue. Both would wrestle with their friends. I think Josh was in the basement of his house. Christian was friggin' in a area, in the school, and just a bunch of other stuff.
Right. Yeah, and it's interesting when you have that story, and it's happened with Adam Copeland and Bryan Danielson, and the list goes on. It's like, is your career actually over?
Yeah.
And they do the retirement speech, and then they end up coming back.
Yeah.
And science is a wonderful thing, I guess.
Yeah. Medical science for sure.
Pretty much. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Could fall on Kurt Angle, but still, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, miracles, second chances, whatever you want to call it, that's pretty cool. And the option C thing was pretty interesting to me. I mean, here's a guy that had the X Division Championship, and it's like, why the hell not? I'm a singles wrestler now. Let's go bigger. So it's like, Yeah, I understand that Christian is an AEW wrestler now,
Mhm.
but the fact that he was on Impact, I could see if Kenny Omega, and he was the Impact champion.
Yes.
But when you look at Christian, you think, yeah, this guy was Impact. Well, he was on Impact before. He wasn't necessarily the Impact champion, but it's just interesting to see what this match is going to entail because
Yeah.
of what happened on the recent episode of Impact.
Mm-hmm.
You look at, and I was kind of reminiscent of like the go home show for WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, in a way.
And I know that when I first saw that, I was kind of pissed. Just because, and I say that before, it's like less is more. They don't touch until the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And, sometimes that does happen. But it doesn't happen very often. I just think that, yeah, this was kind of like we should have waited before they were in the ring at Bound for Glory instead of let them brawl in the ring on Impact. But it's going to be a good match. The question is it time for Josh to have the title?
Yeah. Is Josh Alexander ready to be at that next level?
Because if you don't do it now, then basically he just fucked himself over.
Hmm.
I gave up the X Division title for this, and I mean, they could have any other match in the future. But basically, you're having him in this match tomorrow night. So let's see what happens. It'll be a good match. I just don't know. That's my problem. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that Christian wants to have the AEW title at some point in his career. So for him to lose the Impact title, it'll be an open door.
You could say that.
Yeah, that's actually the thing I was thinking about, the forbidden door.
Yeah.
But anyways, I have no clue.
I mean, I don't think it would be necessarily a bad thing for them to put the world title on Alexander. Is he ready for it? You could say that. I mean, if they keep the title on Christian, it's like, okay, do you have these for another match at some point down the road for the championship? Or what do you do? Where do you go? It really all depends.
Yeah, but anyways, so this has been another episode of Wheels of Fury. Bound for Glory is gonna be an interesting show. Again, it's a lot later than usual,
Yeah.
so we'll find it eventually and watch it. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, to say the least, and of course, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, you're also going to have the induction of Awesome Kong
That's right.
into
Yeah.
the Hall of Fame, which is very cool.
Yeah, Gail Kim is gonna do that. I think that's gonna be amazing.
Oh no, it's like I said, Gail was Kong's biggest rival in TNA, so to have Gail and Doctor to me makes sense. And I'm sure they're probably like best friends
Yeah.
by now. And to have Kong there when I think Gail retired or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah.
You know. So, for me and Matt, this is Killer Kyle. We will talk to you later. Well, soon.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Bye.